We are at Ruroc HQ and I'm going to talk you through the cheap, essential and premium upgrades I would be putting on a track bike. Oh yeah, I raced. Yeah. All I heard was Gloucester Grill, chicken wrap. Hello. Alright. Luckily for me, we have a selection of bikes here that the staff have no idea. I'm going to evaluate and tell you what I would and wouldn't change if we were going on track. So the first thing I would look to do before taking a bike, any bike on track, is to clean it. It's a free upgrade you can make. The reason I clean bikes before I go on track, I mean, I say I clean them, I'm lying if I said I'd clean them, but if I was going to take one on track, I would clean it because you can check for signs of wear and tear, oil leaks, you might have something wrong with your tyres. We'll use these bikes as an example. I'll quickly go through them and see what I would be able to see. So, here we have got a Suzuki, oh, I was going to call it Suzuki, it's a Kawasaki. I was thrown by the colour. So, we've got a Kawasaki 125 Ninja, and as you can see, it's quite dirty. I apologise whoever this is that's riding it.
Our office 125.
Is it?
It's the Ruroc one. Yeah, so if people want to get on the roads,
yeah,
like they come and work here and they want to sort of do a CBT or whatever and have a 125. Shout out to Chris Connor, right? He passed his CBT and pinned it the first day. We had it for a week and then it took 4 months to fix. It was great. So we don't really let anyone on it.
So that explains this black panel. So it's been crashed, right? If I was going to be riding this on track, I was going to give it a once over.
Careful, no.
Yeah, we would look for signs of damage. I mean, we've got a black panel change here. The chain's rusty. That's probably something I would look at getting changed. It's actually not too bad a bike. We'll move on to the next one, which looks like it's never been cleaned since he's ridden it. Something that you can see here is all around the foot pegs, the chain. It's not been cleaned. So if you cleaned all that off, you're getting a good look around the engine. You could have an oil leak there. And if you don't clean the bike, you would never know. I'm hoping you can't hear this truck reversing in the background. It looks like a FedEx advert. No, they're not sponsoring this video. Next one. Is this yours, Archie?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Archie, you've passed the test because it is gleaming and not useful for this section of the video. So we'll move on. It's not a track bike either. What I'm basically getting at here is the more thorough you are with cleaning it, you're going to be checking all the moving parts, bits that are going to break whilst you're riding around. Check for things like the discs being loose, your brake pads. I don't need to teach you to suck eggs. You know what to look for when you're checking a bike. Next section. Tyres are the most important thing I would consider to upgrade on your bike before I did anything else. If you've got cheap and nasty tyres on there, it's highly likely that you will crash at some point through no fault of your own. It takes a lot of years to be able to understand exactly what tyres are doing and how they make the bike feel, and we see a lot of novice riders that end up crashing very easily, and it would be avoided just by putting better tyres on your bike. So tyres are an essential upgrade. I would seriously consider any of the top brands. There's so many good tyre brands out there. Dunlop, Metzler, Pirelli, Michelin, Bridgestone. They've all got good tyres on the market, and just Google a track tyre or a Trackday tyre and you will find one. I'm hoping you can't. It's all right, crack on, don't worry. Premium content.
I don't even work here.
He's just stealing the bin. We are in Gloucester. Now this is the perfect example of the next section of the video, fairings, and why they're an essential upgrade. So, if you look at the BMW S1000 RR here, sorry, not the RR, this has got all standard road bodywork on it. It's more than capable of going on the track just as it is. However, I know, having raced these in the past, how expensive road...
In the past?
Oh yeah, I raced, yeah. 2016 National Superstock 1000 Champion. Raced in Hutchinson all the way to the wire. Came out on top. Yeah.
So what's it?
7 wins, 2 lap records. Fairings. Road bodywork is incredibly expensive, and if you were to replace any of these little individual parts, even it being the seat unit, it's going to cost you a fortune. So the thing to do is buy some track bodywork, and I would suggest that anyone did this before they put their road bike on track. It's really easy to take bodywork off and fit track bodywork on instead, and should you ever crash, God forbid you do, but it does happen. We've all been there. What did you steal out of that? All I heard was bonfire, Gloucester Grill, chicken wrap. Hello. All right. That is something I would really consider doing, buying yourself a set of track bodywork, take all the road stuff off, leave it up your loft, and then when you come to sell the bike, put it back on, you've got a brand new gleaming road bike again, and the track bodywork can take any of the damage when you're riding on track. If you're enjoying this so far, please make sure you subscribe, because Ruroc said they haven't given me 10 grand for you to not go subscribe to their channel and my channel. So make sure you subscribe. The upgrades that I would make if I had a choice. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people make on track days is spending all of their money on making the bike faster and none of the money on the handling of the bike. Now, I can almost guarantee that if you gave me a bike like this, which looks like it shouldn't be taken on a track, if I put really sticky tyres in it, I put good suspension in it, and put some nice handlebars on it and brakes, I would be able to go faster on this bike than I would if you put me on a really, really fast super bike with horrendous tyres, bad forks that were set up badly, cheap brakes that got hot really fast, and basically a bike that just feels horrible to ride. Logic would tell you that if you wanted to go faster, you should make your bike faster. But making a bike faster a lot of the time just makes it a lot harder to ride. If you're not already using all of the power on a 1000 or a 600cc bike, then it's pointless giving it more power, because if you've not got the bike at 100% throttle, or you're not using every single last bit of the power, making it faster isn't really going to help you that much in your lap time. The first upgrade I would look to make, which we talked about before, was tyres. The next one I would look at is the suspension. You can get fork internal kits for a lot of these modern sports bikes, and I would say that would be my first logical step. If you put some good internals in the front forks, you can get those set up. Normally on track days there's someone there to guide you through exactly what I would be doing with the suspension. After that, I would look at the brakes. You can get brake lines really cheaply. It's not an expensive upgrade, and you might find that on a track day you're obviously using the brakes a lot more than you ever would on the road. On the road you use them once when you get to the junction, you set off again, you're only going slow and you're not using them that much. When you're on track, the brakes are being hammered every single corner you get to. They don't really get a chance to cool down. So brake lines, brake pads are cheap upgrades that will improve the performance of your brakes and the feeling that you get from the front brake lever. So we've done handling. That would be the first area I'll be looking to upgrade my bike. The next section is the power and sort of engine performance. One of the first upgrades I would do on a road bike to a track bike is taking the exhaust off and putting a system on without the cat on there. There's a huge weight saving element to that, and not only does it save weight, the exhaust will also give you more power. However, you have to be careful what exhaust you choose. If you're going to be riding the bike on track, a lot of UK track days and European track days have noise limits, and if you were to use an exhaust like this, which is a straight through pipe, they're incredibly noisy and sound really cool, but you probably won't get on a lot of UK track days. As well, depending on the bike, how careful you are, a lot of Ducatis, almost as standard, go above the noise limits on UK track days. Just be mindful of that when you're looking for exhaust. Try and check to see what dB it's going to put out, and a lot of these exhausts also comes with a baffle kit, so the baffle fits in the end of the exhaust and quietens the exhaust. Make sure when you go to a track day that you've got that baffle with you, because a lot of the time you'll turn up on the day and if you haven't got a baffle, you'll either be kicked off the track day or told to go home. Next upgrade that you can look to put on your bike is a quick shifter, and a lot of the modern sports bikes now come with quick shifters as standard. Some of the older ones don't. If you don't know what a quick shifter does, it basically means that on the straight you can hold the throttle at 100% throttle and you don't have to close it to change gear. You just press on the lever, it quickly cuts the engine, lets you select the gear, and then the engine comes back on. They are a non-essential upgrade, but on race bikes now we all have them, and they are really good fun when you do get to use them, because there's no better feeling than just going ba 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 through the gears. So not an essential upgrade. This isn't going to give you a huge amount in your lap time, but it will, as you're looking to get better and better on track. Quick shifters are important, because a lot of the time when you want to change gear whilst you're at a lean angle, if you've got to get your foot under the gear lever to change gear, it makes it more difficult. So doing it with a quick shifter, you don't have to keep closing the throttle and opening it, and it'll help you on track. These quick shifters as well also work the other way, so you can have it that when you're braking into the corner, when you back shift, you don't have to do anything with the clutch, you just press the lever and it will change automatically for you. So As I said, it's not an essential upgrade, but it is something that's really nice to have on track. It does make riding a bike more fun and more enjoyable and takes a lot of the effort out of it. The last little section on track bike preparation are things that are not essential but make your life a lot easier when you're there. So the first thing is actual crash protection for your bike. So we talked about changing the fairings, but then you can buy things like these bobbins here. These bobbins screw into the frame. You can see one there, there's one on the handlebar, some on the front fork legs as well. And they just protect your bike in the event of a crash. If it goes sliding down the road, it'll land on that and that, as opposed to the bodywork and the foot pegs and other parts, and save your bike from a lot more damage. You can also get them for the engine as well. This one's got one here. They come in different shapes and sizes. There's lots of different brands of these. It's just called crash protection or engine case protection. If you Google that, there's lots of different options that'll come up. You can also buy these fold-up levers that this bike has. Again, there's lots of different brands of these, and the idea of these is if you crash and the bike hits the floor, the front brake lever will bend up like that and not snap. Because if you have a fixed lever like this one over here, if we go to the next bike, if that was to hit the floor, that would just snap. So fold-up levers are another good idea to save yourself from having to buy lots of different levers over the years. One other little thing that we didn't talk about before is rear sets. And again, not essential, but as you get better on track, you'll start leaning over more, and then these foot pegs will start to scrape because they're a little bit lower. If you buy a rear set of foot pegs, which is basically just a set of foot pegs that bolt in here, and then they've got lots of adjustability, so you can move them up, down, back, left, right. If you're a taller rider, sometimes they help because you can move them further away from you. If you're shorter, you can move them up. Taz. And again, not an essential upgrade. It's not something you should rush to do straight away, but it's another nice addition to your bike. Last thing to talk about is this here, and this is a bobbin that basically fits a paddock stand. So if you're to work on your bike, if you need to change the back wheel and put a new tyre in or something like that, you can put a paddock stand underneath that goes under, lifts the bike up by the back wheel, and then the bike, I'm not even going to do it because I'll probably drop it and it's not my bike. The bike will then be up straight and you can work on it a lot easier. You can actually then take the side stand off. Track bikes and race bikes definitely don't have side stands on them, so you take the side stand off. If you are going to do that, the side stand is wired into your ignition, and it will probably mean that the bike won't start if it thinks the side stand's still down. So you'll have to, if you can't do that yourself, find someone that can. I'm not going to pretend I know what you do, but you either push it in or push it out, but you fix it so that it doesn't know that the side stand's not there. That was butchered. The viewers are now exposing me as not knowing what I'm on about.
They get the idea.
You get the idea. Come back soon for the next episode where we're going to get even further into this track build, and I'm getting very excited because we're getting closer to riding a motorbike on track. Make sure to subscribe to me, subscribe to Ruroc so you don't miss a thing. See you in the next one.